welcome to another installment of HNN Overtime, the Hawaii News Now Sports Podcast. I am Kyle Chinen, joined as always with Cienna Pilotin. What's up, C?
Hi.
I know, and
we're missing another.
We're still missing
week.
another person for another week, but our partner in crime, Davis Pittner, as you see on the sign, he is on a much well-deserved honeymoon with his new bride.
Wow.
Ooh,
They're
Mel.
married.
They're so married, and I don't know. Has it really? I don't know. When I saw the picture of them together, I think that's when it first hit me.
It's quite crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I always because they hid the relationship for so long. Not to go on like a tangent.
Yeah.
But people in the office know they hid their relationship for so long that now it only now feels real, even if they've been dating for literally 5 years.
5 years.
Because nobody knew. And
Nobody
now
knew.
that they're out in the open, it's it's real.
It's
but
so real.
I can't believe our little guy.
I know.
I'm literally the youngest out of us. Our little guy has grown up.
The sweetest guy
Yes,
of our
we're happy.
crew is happy and enjoying his time off with his new bride on a honeymoon. So we will hold down the fort here, and
Lots going on.
yeah, pretty stacked show today. We're gonna start things off in Manoa. Well, technically not in Manoa this weekend.
Yes.
The UH Rainbow Warriors football team last weekend, kind of a heartbreaker against San Diego State at home. It was a 41-34 loss, but you and I were both at the game, and it seemed like there were many different points in that game where they could have turned the tides.
I know. And I mean, Hawaii should have won that game. I said this every single day since. I will continue to say it. Hawaii should have won that game.
Yeah.
It was just so frustrating at the end. And it was just crazy because the first three quarters kind of were the same. They felt pretty much the same. So it was a tale of two halves, but also the third quarter was included in that first part. And
Definitely.
the fourth quarter was a brand new game. It's like both offenses decided to do some crazy wild plays.
Yep.
Both defenses started to, turn up the heat. Turnovers killed Hawaii.
Turnovers,
man.
definitely.
24 points off of just turnovers itself. You just don't win like that.
Yeah, that's self-inflicted wounds for sure. And, with a lot of it, coming down to they had those opportunities and they just kept letting San Diego State back into the game. And it got to the point where, the clock was definitely not on their side. And they were down 10 points.
Yeah.
So
Quite controversial.
Quite controversial.
Might you add.
Yeah. Let's just break it down. The last offensive drive, UH is, Braden Shager and the boys, they are getting them down. He got them down into the red zone with about maybe a minute and some change left on the clock. They had 3 timeouts left, first and goal basically, maybe maybe in the red zone, maybe in the 20 on the 20. So instead of say going for the end zone a couple more times, 2 times, right? Coach Timmy Chang opts to clock the ball on first down, and then on second down he brings out Matt Chipley and gets this pretty much a chip-in field goal.
Yeah.
And,
Well, okay. So I know right after the game, you were like, wow, that was not to say a mistake, but that was your point of view.
I was kind of, in the moment, I was really mind-boggled to it. Just kind of the decision to sacrifice those first 2 downs to just get those easy points and to, go for the onside kick, which we all know it was not successful.
It didn't work out,
San Diego State got the ball back, and all they really needed to do was run the clock out.
Yeah.
But
Twitter was kind of mixed.
Yeah, it was really
opinions.
mixed.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because I agreed with you. And then once I really sat to think about it, I was like, it's not that terrible of a decision.
Yeah, no,
in the moment you make it, move on.
Right.
And he immediately apologized afterwards to the
very
state of Hawaii, not
it.
only to UH fans.
Yeah.
He apologized to the state. But I don't think it's that bad of a decision.
No, yeah, I mean, for myself included, looking back, I think in the moment I was just really mind-boggled as to there was not that there was no time on the clock, but I felt there was still enough time. But, you get out of there with easy points, and then you
And if you get the onside kick, your field position's great.
Great field position.
And so think about it more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, do we take the points? I mean, we always love to take the points, but at the same time, it's kind of like, if you get that onside kick, you're maybe at the 50.
Yeah.
That's fair game. I mean, after seeing they really opened the playbook this game.
They let Shager go downfield a lot.
And that was the best. And that's why I know this is a loss and it's so frustrating because they should have won, but it doesn't feel as devastating. And obviously we're not in the locker room.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel as devastating as other losses.
Oh,
and I think part of that is because, one, things are looking up for the offensive line. They helped Shager out a lot. He had time to throw downfield. Two, they're allowing Shager to throw downfield.
Yeah.
And the guys are getting open. They could not stop our wide receivers. Just when you think that, okay, let's lock down Ashlock. We got McBride.
Right.
We got Senecal. We got an Alex Harry touchdown.
Exactly.
It was just fun.
Yeah, and, I talked to Braden during Media Avail this week, before they left for their next game, which we'll talk about in a second. But, I asked him, what is our relationship like? And he's just so on the same page with everybody, which is allowing him, saw him to kind of spread the ball, share the wealth, and give it to many different receivers, not almost across the board. Kowali had some big plays. Even, Jonah Pinoke, who's been kind of banged up throughout the season. He was able to contribute a little bit on the yardage, but obviously, like you said, the superstars of Pafele Ashlock, Stephen McBride.
This is our best crew that we have.
Yeah.
And Shager, too. Shager to the wide receivers, it just unstoppable. I wish we started this from week one because the defenses, they just cannot guard this many guys.
Right.
Not to, bring up my Chiefs.
Oh, here we go.
Every podcast, they somehow get weaved in. But this kind of reminds me of the 2020 Super Bowl Chiefs winning team.
Right.
Because it's just, you have so many guys who you gonna guard.
Exactly.
That's really what it is, what it comes down to, is just being able to have depth at the wide receiver core that you can only lock down one guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that team was Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman,
obviously Travis
Kelce. And then even the running backs were really good out of the backfield for catching the ball too.
Yeah.
I definitely see that as a pretty good comparison, and like you said, just depth.
Yeah.
And another point too, the offensive line. We were out on the sideline just watching the game, and even you noticed that sometimes the pocket, Braden was able to make a sandwich back there.
He had time, and then when he finally went through his reads and realized he didn't like any of them, he just ran. And they blocked for him, and it worked.
Shager wheels.
It worked.
Some Shager wheels.
The offense is just, it's doing so well. We just need the defense to catch up there a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, and also to kind of, credit the defense. They played very well those first three quarters, and you could definitely tell that they were on the field way too much in that fourth quarter, and they were just giving up big chunks. So it was one of those things where you just they have to finish the game out, and
they were gassed.
They were definitely gassed.
And obviously Peter Manuma going down for a little bit, that's kind of when the defense started to shift a little bit, because I felt like for all three quarters plus part of the fourth, they were locking dudes down. They knew their assignment. Everybody was on the same page, and then Manuma went down for a little bit. It was kind of a scary scene there for a minute, and he got his knee all taped up and was kind of hobbling around, so he did eventually come back in, but I feel like after that moment he went down, things were scattered. The whole defense kind of just fell apart, and that's just because he's that good and he's that much of a leader.
And definitely for the San Diego State offense, when number one isn't on the field, you can kind of tell that the San Diego State offense knew, and they could take advantage. I mean, that very next play, whoever came in for Manuma, they targeted him right away, and that kind of led to a touchdown.
Yes.
So they knew, and they know that number one in the backfield is a factor in the game. But we talked to him after the game, and he basically said, "I'm good. he's like, the motto goes, until the wheels fall off. So he's gonna keep going.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah,
because he's huge.
All right, switching gears from last week's game to this week's game, another road trip out to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes, home of High School Musical.
I was about to say that. And no, folks, they're not going against the East High Wildcats.
They're not going.
They're going up against the New Mexico Lobos.
Troy Bolton will not be there, ladies.
Wasn't Troy supposed to go to New Mexico? But then he chose the school close to Stanford for Gabriella.
Also, don't ever do that.
Yeah, sorry. Guys, this is your
that.
future, not hers. It's yours. Make sure you do the right decision for yourself and your education, but also
I thought you know what? Maybe you're right.
Right? Wasn't he supposed to
Okay, but also what annoyed me about that movie, not to get out on a tangent here, but let's not pretend like he was going to the NBA.
Oh yeah,
you know
let's just be real.
They really hyped him up to be like, no, this is Victor Wembanyama. Like, you're lying.
No, for real. Like, honestly, I thought Corbin Blue's character was a better basketball player.
He was.
Like, you're gonna take a chance on Troy Bolton, like a 5'10" point guard, like.
Especially when his dad's the coach, like that told me everything I needed to know. Mm-hmm.
He really should have just been, if anything, the sixth man.
Oh,
there's no way he's running point.
No way, dude.
Like, and when your girlfriend in the third movie is stopping an entire game to stand up
that just annoyed
and
me.
Sing your name in the middle of the court.
And the way that life comes full circle and all these girls are doing it now, it's just so funny to me.
I mean, it's crazy. But yes, so back to the point. See, when Davis is out, we kind of go off on tangents. Bear with us. But speaking of games, we got New Mexico, not in New Mexico State. We got them already in the schedule.
Yes.
But
Lobos.
yes, New Mexico Lobos coming. Not coming in. UH is going into town.
Yeah, we left, I think, the other day.
Yep.
I mean, we should win this one, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at them, they're standing at 2-4 on the season. We're 2-5, so right around the same record. I mean, we had that week 0 game, so we always are going to be one game ahead of everyone in the schedule. But New Mexico is coming off of a pretty bad
loss.
Pretty bad loss. San Jose State, we'll talk about them in 2 weeks when they come to town. And there's a certain quarterback that might be familiar to y'all, but we'll talk about them later.
Yeah.
But 52-24 is not exactly a score that you can kind of look at and be, try. It's harder to find silver linings in a 52-24 loss as opposed to a 41-34 loss.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's I do think on paper Hawaii's the better team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hawaii should win this game.
Yeah.
And I don't think New Mexico is nearly as close to as talented as we are.
Yeah.
Now, saying all of that, Timmy Chang in his Timmy Chang era has yet to win a game on the road.
That is very true.
Is something I didn't even realize until recently.
Yeah.
When that got brought to my attention. He's 0-9 on the road.
Yeah. And hey, in this league, it's tough to.
It shows how tough it is to win on the road.
Yeah.
Yes. But it also worries me for games like this because we're clearly the better team. And I know if this was in mono, it'd look close to what it looked against the other New Mexico.
Right.
But going there, I'm hoping Hawaii left early enough too.
Yeah,
right?
especially
sometimes they got it close.
Yeah, sometimes at least with the travel situation, if they're going like Vanderbilt was the farthest they had to travel this year, and they left super early. Yeah. So that
was also start of school.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Right?
So they've actually been really smart about leaving Hawaii to kind of get them all acclimated.
That matters.
Yeah,
dude.
It definitely matters. And especially with the temperature, I don't know what it is like in New Mexico, but definitely probably something to check in on. I'm sure they had to deal with that when they had to go to Vegas when they played in an outdoor stadium in Sam Boyd, but now they don't really need to worry about weather at Allegiant. But they usually for a normal kind of West Coast-ish road trip, they leave on a Wednesday. They get in Wednesday night. They practice on Thursday, Friday, game time. So that's kind of their schedule, and they left a day early, I think, this week, just to get more acclimated to the time zone, to the weather. They're practicing out there, and but like you said, on paper, this team should be able to handle the Lobos. Last game against San Jose State, they kind of had two quarterbacks. They had Dylan Hopkins. He went. Sorry, Davis, taking your job, by the way. Let me rattle the stats.
Guy.
Hopkins went 13 of 24 for 187 yards and an interception. Meanwhile, their other quarterback, Devin Dampier, he went 5 of 6 for 75 yards and a touchdown.
What a name.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I said it right. Sorry, Devin or Devon or however you say it. I'm sorry. And, you know, they have a pretty solid run game with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He had 17 attempts for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, you know, it's definitely a team on paper that Hawaii can beat. It's a team that, you know, should, you know, not necessarily roll over. That's not the right word I'm saying. But, you know, it's definitely not a team that they can overlook just because they're a 2-4 team, just because, you know, they're not exactly statistically better than them.
Right.
It could turn into a trap game, but I know Coach Timmy Chang has definitely trained those guys to know better.
Definitely could be a trap game, and also to the fact that they're kind of bouncing between quarterbacks is something that makes it tough on us.
Right.
I mean, that's they have the upper hand with that for sure. And our defense, we have to be able to stop the run.
Right.
Again, I mean, I feel like we're a broken record, but we just do. I still think Hawaii's better.
Yeah, I still think so as well. Trying to look up some more stats here real quick. You know, the offense has been able to produce just about a little bit over 1,500 yards of total offense. And pretty much the same goes for the defense. The defense has allowed just about a little bit over almost 1,600 yards of total offense. So, I mean, if you can get Shager cooking downfield early. I feel like we see this every week. You know, get them going early, and they can definitely take advantage of this. You know, this defense. And when you break it down by total yards passing, the defense allowed 977 yards so far this season, and that's something that I think Shager can take advantage of.
This is going to be a air game for sure. I mean, I'm expecting it to be high scoring, at least on our part. I don't know what they're going to do. I
mean, yeah, we'll see. I think also too, I know Billy asked us on Sunrise kind of how we think it's going to turn out. I still agree with you, C. I think Hawaii can and has the ability to pull this one out.
Ooh, will this be Timmy Chang's first road win out in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
He might. They might be all in this together, you know.
Okay.
Come on.
I mean, as a High School Musical girly myself, I will say that was a good one.
Thank you. And I'm no shame. I am a self-proclaimed High School Musical fan. Real quick, I know I don't want to go off onto a tangent, but what's your ranking of the trilogy?
Okay, we've talked about this before. I like 2, 1, 3.
You and me are on the exact same wavelength.
I think that's the best for sure.
It's definitely.
Well, okay, so 2 is clearly the best.
Oh yeah.
Plotline, music, hands down. 1 is just classic. It just
nostalgic.
Because it's so nostalgic, and it's like it's really not even well made. It's just
you could tell.
It's really bad, if we're being honest. But the music is like, that's the first thing you think of. And then the third is they got too Hollywood on us.
It definitely, the production value and like...
Oh, they wanted to make it a movie. It was a film.
Do you remember when that came out? Did you grab the girls and be like, we're going to the theater
Oh, we went to the theater. I begged my mom.
Made it an event.
Yes.
And then like you said, it just didn't have the same charm of the first 2.
The first 2 were just so low budget. It was just so good.
I loved it. I haven't watched the series on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I'm not into that. I've passed, but when Disney Plus has the trilogy back on, I'm watching probably 2 when I'm definitely two. But yes, we got New Mexico, Hawaii. Speaking of games, but yes, we have New Mexico, Hawaii. Hawaii probably gonna rock black helmets, white jersey, black pants.
Probably.
New Mexico has a pretty cool. I mean, I know they're all red and gray.
Yeah, they kind of have that UNLV look.
Yeah, but they have that. But they have like that turquoise alternate.
Oh,
Like just in there. So I think that's. I always like when teams have like that little spice.
Yeah.
Speaking of your Rebs, I just saw a post. They're wearing pink this week.
I didn't see that.
It's brand new. I just saw it when we were looking at some stuff to talk about this show. I'll pull it up. I wonder if they have pictures on it yet, but we'll put it up on screen as well for you.
I'm all for that with the month that it is.
And I think it's so like they've always had like the same jersey recently, but kind of the same template. But I think this one is different because you guys don't usually have stripes on the jerseys, huh?
No, we do not.
We'll find it for y'all just to take a look at it. Also, speaking of uniforms, Oregon rocking the retros.
Yeah, Oregon, they just never
saucy.
They never miss ever.
Saucy Saucersons.
Also the Eagles, fly Eagles fly, going with the Kelly
Eagles.
Greens.
Yeah, that's honestly a perfect segue to talk about a little bit of NFL news.
NFL news?
Little NFL in Hawaii.
I didn't even plan for that. But yes, lots happening right now. Miami.
Yeah,
Tua,
speaking of that Sunday night football game.
Cooking right now.
They're definitely cooking off to the first 5-1 start in like a couple seasons.
I know. They look good. They really do. A lot of people are talking right now that you also don't want to peak too early. And I think a lot of people are saying that about the Dolphins and even teams like the Eagles.
Right.
But I mean, Tua he's killing it, man. I'm so happy for him.
I mean, after, he was off to a pretty hot start with McDaniels last year.
McDaniels is great, too.
McDaniels is a character.
Coach of the year.
And I absolutely love him.
The amount of characters the NFL coach, these guys are crazy. It's like before, years ago, back in my day.
Whoa.
It was very much these guys had to be buttoned up, and it was very Bill Belichick, do your job.
Yes.
And now you have McDaniels running away from reporters.
Wearing off-white Air Force Ones.
You have Dan Campbell breaking kneecaps. These boys are crazy. Sean McVay, the other day, he's expecting a child, and he told reporters, he was like, my son knows not to come on a day that we're playing football. These boys are crazy.
It's definitely like that trend of just the youth in the head coaching world, and it's just whoa.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people needed to figure that one out at first, but I think we fully embraced it. And, not to knock the GOAT. I mean, arguably the GOAT, Bill Belichick. He's kind of not been in the headlines. The only reason he is in the headlines is because
the Patriots are terrible.
They are not the Patriots of old.
They are terrible. There's nothing ever in this world I'd like to see more than the Patriots downfall.
I love it.
But I also want to watch good football, and that is a train wreck.
Yeah, and my dad is a diehard Raiders fan, and he was subject to watching Raiders Patriots.
It's terrible.
Oh my word.
Terrible.
What a
I mean, McCormick has fallen on hard times.
I don't know if McCormick is the answer.
Oh, he's not the answer. All my Patriots friends are like, let's get Caleb Williams, let's get somebody, Penix, I mean, this draft is loaded with QB.
This is a loaded QB draft.
Why stick with McCormick?
Yeah,
Jones?
Exactly. McCorkle. Speaking of former Alabama quarterbacks, McCorkle's former teammate Tua Tagovailoa. We keep talking about just kind of the hot start he's had to the season. He's helped the Dolphins get to a 5-1 record. Obviously had that big game against the Denver Broncos, the historic game. Right now, season totals, he has 1,876 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions with a QB rating of 74.7, and that's third best in the NFL right now. He is cooking, the lethal lefty.
It's crazy because I remember when the season started, I had people in my fantasy leagues being like, I'll draft Tua as my backup. Tua will be my backup when I need him for 1 week and 1 week only. And now, 72 points?
Yeah. That's insane.
I wish my quarterbacks could never.
Yeah,
all three of y'all.
My fantasy team. I'm sorry, I have not been the best general manager. My
My team is terrible.
I mean, I remember one weekend, I think it was the weekend I was traveling to Maui, and I was just kind of busy doing my job. But
Oh, no.
I get a text from our very own Lynn Kawano, who is in our newsroom league, and she said, "Hey, dude, you might want to start a quarterback that has a game this week and a running back." And I said, "You know what, Lynn? No."
You didn't?
No, I forgot. It was too late.
Oh, my goodness.
She texted me, and I kind of fell back asleep. It was like right before Lahaina Luna.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like slipped my mind.
You
and
know
then
what? That's really nice of her to text
Yeah, I know.
you,
I
though.
really appreciate Lynn helping out the less fortunate in our fantasy league. But they'll just take my money from me at the end of the year. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just here for vibes.
Yeah, just here for a good time.
I honestly don't know why I keep playing. I'm in 3 leagues this year. I'm terrible in all. Every year it's like pure heartbreak.
Same. I mean, I just keep getting. It's literally me and Davis at the bottom of our newsroom league, and we're literally just there for a good time.
Vibes.
Just for vibes. And it's gotten to the point where, like, yes, I can try and make my roster as good as it could be, but at the same time,
Same.
But like, yeah, back to actual football, not out of the fantasy realm. It's basically a battle of former teammates. You got Jalen Hurts and Tua.
Yeah, that's
the
gonna
former
be
Bama boys.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great storyline for sure.
Yeah, both at 5-1, and like you mentioned, the Eagles wearing their classic Kelly greens. Miami in their normal plain all white uniforms.
Yeah.
I mean, I do miss their old. When they roll out the throwbacks in Miami, solid look. Another team that I think has pretty good uniforms is the Cincinnati Bengals.
They always come correct.
It's just an iconic look with the stripes. It's so unique in the league. And we're going to stay on the top of the Bengals. Last weekend, speaking of NFL Hawaii players, Princeton grad and Punahou standout Andre Yoshivas scored his very first NFL touchdown against my Seattle Seahawks.
It's okay.
Helped them get a win over the Hawks in Cincinnati, and it was also his birthday.
Yeah.
So belated birthday.
You know, it's crazy because you're having all these guys like do something big on their birthday.
Yeah.
I saw, obviously, Andre did that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days ago, it was Bryce Harper's birthday.
Yes.
And, he plays for the Phillies, and he homered on his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just cool seeing these guys, like, light it up on their birthday.
Definitely.
I mean, we also saw Jonah Pinoque
Jonah
on his
Pinoque.
birthday score a touchdown.
Yeah, against UAlbany. Yeah.
I mean, whose birthday's next?
Literally, if Tua's birthday is this Sunday,
Oh,
get
he going
ready.
off.
Get ready,
Start
Philly.
him, folks.
Yeah, get him on that lineup.
So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and another
But
cool.
good
yeah,
good for Andre.
good for him, and good for him too. I mean, he's been primarily a special teams warrior, but I mean that score happened in like the second quarter.
Yeah, that was a great story too. That Joe Burrow went back and got the ball for him.
Joe Burrow, certified nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Joe Burr, Joe Cool,
Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty. Staying in the NFL, some other cool news. Another son of Oahu, as it were, Punahou alum. And
I don't know where you're going with this now,
kicker for the Houston Texans,
Yes.
Kaimi Fairbairn. He's set to make his 100th career start in the NFL. What a milestone.
I know, that's huge. And he's so great. He's so consistent.
He's automatic.
He is automatic. Sons of Oahu, all around the league.
Yeah.
Not really, but no, good for him though. And I just saw that video that I think you sent me a little bit ago that they gave him a lei and stuff. So that's really sweet.
It's really sweet.
The Texans are the Texans. They haven't been the greatest of organizations in the past several years, but he's just steady Eddie.
He's definitely been steady Eddie.
Yeah.
And he's gone through handful of head coaches now, handful of quarterbacks, but he's been pretty good, and he's one of the top kickers in the league right now. And we've talked about this off camera. Being a kicker, like if you want your kids to be football players and if you want them to have a long career, perhaps in the NFL, put them on special teams. Teach them how to field goal kick. Teach them how to punt. That's where you preserve the body, make sure the mentals are all good. I mean, and just make sure you have a lethal leg, and that's all you need, really.
That is really all you need. Davis and Mel just got married a couple days ago on Saturday, and we saw all the pictures on social media.
It was so beautiful.
Looked gorgeous. Mel, you looked like a princess. And Davis looks so handsome in his suit and tie.
I was laughing to myself because I was like, this is probably maybe the second time I've seen Davis Pittner in long pants.
Oh my gosh, they both look so good. We're so happy for you guys.
So happy for them.
But yeah, you got us to talking about some wedding stuff a little bit.
Yes, I know. Well, first off, I want to give a lot of credit to Davis because he was in the full suit in an outdoor wedding.
It was hot.
Ooh,
it looked. I mean, I know they said it was around 5:30, but the sun was blaring.
The sun was definitely blaring, and
I don't know, the outdoor thing when you got all the makeup on, and for guys you're dressed in full.
Right.
I don't know about the outdoor.
I always thought that like kind of the rule of thumb was like, I mean, obviously for the guy it doesn't really matter. It's all up to the bride that makes pretty much the final decision. But if it's like an outdoor like daytime wedding, at least here in Hawaii, it's like aloha shirt and pants, right?
Which I think all the guests were like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Davis was cooking out there.
Yeah, he's definitely baking in that. And I mean, you mentioned this too. I found out from Davis. So the bridal party and the groomsmen, so their theme colors, it was maroon for the women and like a pistachio green for the guys. And I might be colorblind. I don't know. I might just, I'm wearing every single color on this shirt.
This is true.
But, that's a good combo, right?
That is a good combo. I love the maroon. I mean, maroon everything is just so pretty to me. Well, this is kind of not really, but
it's a little dark.
Yeah, it's a little dark. But yeah, maroon and like what a combo.
It was a pretty combo.
It's very country-esque.
Yeah.
Winery-esque. But I like it. And all the bridesmaids, everybody looks so beautiful.
It was so nice to see, and obviously a lot of the HNN Ohana was there along with both of their families, and just seeing the videos and stuff, and they had a little bit of a dance floor.
Oh, that's the reason I go to a wedding.
Absolutely. You only go there to shake a tail feather. I don't know. I've never said that before in my life.
Is that the song that gets you to the dance floor?
Actually, it's not, and that's a really good segue, Cienna.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what gets you out there to the dance floor?
I will say if it's like not necessarily the first song I hear, but usually when they play the electric slide or the Cupid shuffle,
good one.
I will be the first one because people a little gun shy, people a little
So
I don't know.
That's like every wedding you have to start off with a routine dance. It has to be something that everybody can get into, even if it's like the YMCA electric slide. If you're young, like the wobble.
I've never been able to learn the wobble. But
I don't know, like just any of those. Like we all know what we're doing.
Yep.
We have dance moves set into it.
Absolutely.
And after that, you can kind of go anywhere with it. You can start playing any type of music.
Yep.
But you need one to get everybody there that it's like, okay, grandma can come.
Right.
She knows the steps.
Yep.
Little cousin can come. They know the steps.
Absolutely agree. And now I remember, everybody knows pretty much the electric slide. But like, yeah, that's definitely one that'll get you there. And then just hype music. Like I feel like for a wedding reception,
like what kind of hype music?
Well, the slow songs are definitely meant for
the couple.
Father daughter, mother son, and the couple first dance. You can keep all the slow dances there, but once like the lights turn off and the
lights are
the lasers, I really think the one that's been getting me sort of hyped lately is kind of like an EDM song, but it's Pepas.
Oh my gosh,
the
you
horns.
do like that song.
I do. I really like that song.
Just don't do it for me.
I know.
I need like the throwback.
Yes.
Like Usher.
Ooh.
I need T-Pain. Like
T-Pain will definitely get me there.
Like
yeah.
I need the throwback 2000 stuff.
Definitely.
Yes.
And like for the DJ, you can't do all the line dances like almost back to back to back.
No.
You gotta spread them out.
You do. you need to have a line dance, and then like couple songs that nobody really cares about, but like people will be on the dance floor. But that's the time you go to the bathroom.
Right.
You get some cake. You get some refreshments. And then the minute you hear another line song, you're like, oh my gosh, we gotta go back.
Drop everything.
We're going back, ladies. So I'm there with you, and that's the thing. DJs can really make or break a wedding. I don't care if you have bad food. I'm getting McDonald's on the way home anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know, like, you're in a confined outfit to begin with.
I don't like the dress I'm wearing. I'm getting McDonald's in my pajamas afterwards. So you can have bad food. Cake, I do want you to have good cake, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
If the DJ starts playing some whack tunes, I'm out, dog. I gotta go.
Like, all of a sudden, I'm kind of tired.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do my night routine.
Absolutely. And, you know, back to the wedding thing, I will say, like, if a wedding, especially here, if it's Hawaiian food, oh my goodness.
It's every time.
It's every time.
Every single time.
And it always hits.
Yeah, every time.
And, like, the last wedding I went to, shout out to my boy Brett and his lovely wife Alyssa. I love y'all. I was one of his groomsmen. But they had Filipino food.
Was it
good? It was really good.
Oh my!
It was really good.
Dude, what kind of cake?
It was like a vanilla, just like a kind of a pretty basic vanilla and white frosting cake.
Right.
And they had like, you know, Hawaii wedding. Aunties, uncles making like the little Jello.
Oh yes, all the
or like
little snacks.
The
and
cheesecake things.
Yes.
It was so good, and you know, you always like it when. I mean, maybe for me, because I was part of the ceremony, I had like literally McDonald's while we were setting up and getting dressed.
Good.
But then like you realize you're standing in the entire ceremony, you're going through everything, you're taking the pictures with the groomsmen, and then by the time you sit down at your table, you haven't eaten anything in like 6 hours.
Oh yeah, no, that's just, and for the girls, I think it's worse because. You're just, the hair and makeup takes so long, hours long, and then there's pictures, and you want to get it done before because, I mean, once you start, it just kind of goes from there, and it just takes so long. Now, the bridesmaids, each one takes really long to get ready, and then it's just a long process, so yeah, you got to make sure that you have, that's what I was always told, you have to make sure if you're a maid of honor or you're the best man, like your number one job is making sure that the bride or groom has eaten, has used the bathroom, and like that's pretty much it. Drink water. Like you gotta stay hydrated. Like I know you wanna take all the cute little Instagram selfies, videos, but because it could just pass you. Right.
I totally agree. And I actually just remember it wasn't McDonald's, I'm sorry, but like you brought that up because like my buddy Alyssa and her bride tribe, they were in their spot, you know, makeup artist, hair stylist, just the whole 9 yards, just a complete operation. Meanwhile, the boys.
The complete opposite between the bride tribe and then the bunch of boys getting ready for a wedding is insane. Like you literally have 12 girls, hair and makeup. There's hairspray flying everywhere. There's like 8 different straighteners, 8 different hair curlers. I mean, you have dresses everywhere, shoes everywhere, flowers everywhere. Cut to the guys. Literally in a circle. They want to take like game day fit pics. Suddenly that's a thing.
That was a thing that we considered and he tried to get done, but we didn't have enough time because so where we had to get ready was like kind of off-site from the wedding. It was like a little Airbnb, but it had a TV with Spectrum on it, and OC16 was on, and the Milani game from last season was on, and we also Uber Eats Zippies. So not us with our like nice white dress shirts, like literally 5 feet away eating chili cheese fries and fried chicken.
Meanwhile, the girls haven't eaten.
Yeah.
We've had a granola bar in 12 hours.
Granola bar and a bottle of water. We're
so worried about spilling anything.
Literally.
Like, that's insane. But yes, it's the difference between guys and girls.
Definitely the difference. Like, I didn't put in my contacts until 20 minutes before we left, and they're like, hey, man, we got to go. I'm like, oh, okay.
That is baffling.
It's truly baffling, and you know, hopefully I don't cause a lot of stress to my future, but wherever you are, the future bride, wherever you are, if you're listening, I'm right here. But you know, I think as long as the actual wedding goes to plan.
Yes, once it actually happens, it's fine. It's just the difference between guys and girls.
So I don't mean to put you on the spot here a little bit, but we were mentioning some of the line dances. If you know, what are some of your favorite dances, like the group dances?
Group dances, the Cupid Shuffle for sure. I mean, that one, it's a good halfway through the song, then I get bored.
Yeah.
So the thing about group dances is if it's too repetitive, then I'm out. So it's always a fun idea until you're out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cupid Shuffle for me. I mean, I'm pretty basic, the WAP.
Yeah.
Not that I'm really good at any of these, or the wobble, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The Macarena is a good one.
The Macarena,
I can participate in 3 cycles of that, and then I'm done.
I mean, I think any of those types of songs, 3 to 4 cycles
yes.
is a good number. Then you move on, you know, the DJ, and then he transitions to the next song.
Something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely an electric slide guy because that's a song that even the aunties know, because some aunties and uncles don't know Cupid Shuffle. It's a little bit new for them.
Yes.
But when it's always a great time when auntie and uncle are right next to you doing the
it's
electric
a
slide.
Bonding moment.
It definitely
Everybody
is.
gets so close. I just love weddings so much.
Definitely.
I need
so
someone
fun.
else in this office to get married if anyone's listening.
All the people that we do know that are in relationships, my boys, speed it up. Just kidding, but
also not.
All right, cut. Do a quick little outro.
Okay.
All right. In 3, 2. All right. Well, we've had our fun this episode.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun, and I think for the most part, we were pretty up on track. We kept on track.
Yeah, we did. We had our moments, but next week we'll have Davis back with us, and he'll recap all his wedding adventures and honeymoon, and I just can't wait to hear all about it. And so we will also be on Weekend Sunrise this weekend on K5 around 8:45. We'll talk some UH football, New Mexico, and hopefully that goes the way we planned it.
Hopefully. We'll hang out with Billy V that morning. Yes. I love Billy. He is a absolute amazing guy. Legend. Absolute legend. But yes, and like we said, only a few tangents. Didn't even bring up a certain relationship in the NFL with a
this is where we end the podcast.
There it is. And that we have a little marker on the board every week. Yeah. We won't get into them, but happy for them. But we are more happy for the Davis and Mel couple.
That's my true Taylor and Travis.
There it is. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening or watching this episode of HNN Overtime. To catch any of the previous episodes, you can head to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get the rest of our HNN podcast. Be sure to check out the video version on our YouTube channel. For Cienna Pilotin, I'm Chinen. Aloha.